So hello guys, what's up and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's me, your girl Barrister Neze, and this is Nezeville. In everyday Nigerian custom, it is a norm that when a child is well behaved, he is usually called the son of his father. You hear the dad say, "That's my boy, that's my son." But when a child strays or is badly behaved, he is quickly addressed as his mother's child. And the father will not hesitate for a second to ask, "Woman, who is this boy? Where did you get this child from?" This your child is what you would hear. Well, if you were thinking that this is purely an African thing, no. Because even in diaspora, when it comes to achievements, athletic wins, breakthrough in science and discovery, boxing championships, you will hear phrases like British boxer Anthony Joshua, American Jackie Aino of Nigerian descent, African American pop star Seal. But when it borders on crime and criminality, it is straight up Nigerian. Nigerian fraudster Hush Puppy, Nigerian sexual predator John, and just like the story that we are going to be discussing today, Nigerian serial robber, the Blue Cloth Bandit. What a life. So today's story is about 29-year-old Nigerian serial robber Charles Chukwuma Onwemele, who is suspected and has been arrested for carrying out more than 60 robberies within a space of less than 1 year in the city of Los Angeles, United States of America. It is yet to be established if Chukwuma is an American citizen whose family long migrated to the US and is settled there, or if he recently immigrated. But what has been established by the Los Angeles Police Department is that Chukwuma Onwemele had terrorized the city and county of Los Angeles since October 2021 up until September 2022, robbing gas stations, Walmarts and 7-Elevens of hard-earned dollars. And according to Fox News, Chukwuma was dubbed the Blue Cloth Bandit by the LAPD in its press statement because he allegedly used a blue cloth to cover his handgun, which he used for his robberies. So from this point, please permit me to address him as the Blue Cloth Bandit. I'm going to play a video very shortly, a video showing this alleged serial robber in full action. But before I do, let me describe in full details the style and modus operandi adopted by this Blue Cloth Bandit in carrying out his operations. The Blue Cloth Bandit will conceal all his facial features wearing different colors of hats and the face masks. He will ensure that he left no fingerprint trails by wearing blue rubber gloves. So a typical day of operation would see him walk into a store like every other regular shop goer, and he would search counters, feigning as though he was looking for an item that he was about to purchase. But what he will be doing in reality is scanning these stores, looking out for security operatives or any other person that can pose a potential resistance to his pending operation. When he has marked the store safe for strike, he would approach the counter, hand over a little piece of item to the cashier, and even go ahead to pay for it. And as soon as the cashier or shop attendant opens the sales box to deposit the money that he has paid, or perhaps issue some change to him, he pulls out his gun, shows it to the cashier, and orders him or her to pack up all the money in the box and hand over to him. And of course, with a little weapon in view, they do not hesitate at all. So they do as they are told, pack up all the cash, hand it over to him, and as soon as he gets the cash in his hand, he dashes out of the store into his waiting vehicle, which is usually parked outside, and he zooms off. This he had allegedly done over 5 dozen times. Investigations might reveal more, but as of now, he has been established to have carried out this act over 5 dozen times without getting caught. Watch this video. So this is one of the crime scenes that had been struck by the Blue Cloth Bandit, a typical convenience store in the city of LA. So there he is in his typical work attire, hats, mask, blue gloves, and ready to strike. So he picks up an item which appears to be gum or something. He drops it on the counter and goes ahead to pay for it. All fidgeting and jittery right now, looking like he's about to pick another item. So now he pulls out his gun and shows it to the cashier. And at this point, the cashier knows better than not to cooperate. Pulls out wads of money off the cash register, hands it over to him, and the blue cloth bandits jets off. 20-30 seconds, mission accomplished. Now, in many countries where the death penalty is practiced, the death penalty is not only handed down where the loss of life is involved or where death occasions in the course of committing a crime. It is also handed down for offenses involving violence, use of firearms, and dangerous weapons. Some people might deem it extreme. They might question, why hand over a death penalty when there was no life lost in the commission of a crime? I'll tell you the law's rationale for doing that. One, aside from imposing a punishment that will serve as a serious deterrent to others, to greatly discourage potential perpetrators not to even think about it at all. That's one rationale. But the second one is that the law understands that anybody that has the mind to hold a dangerous little weapon is 100% capable of using it. If you hold a gun, you are just a breath away from shooting, especially if confronted by any resistance, threat, or apprehension of getting caught. Now let me ask you this question, my dear audience. Have you ever heard or seen a case where a kidnapper picks up someone and requests for ransom, and his family or relations are unable to pay the ransom, and the kidnapper say, okay, it's okay, I thought your family could afford this, but they can't. Just go home now and kiss your daughter good night when you go home. All right, it was nice seeing you. It was nice having you in our den. All right now, ciao. Does it ever happen that way? No. You and I know the eventual repercussion of not paying ransom. You will never be freed. You will never go. It always ends up one way. So that is why the law understands that anybody who is capable of carrying out a crime, wielding dangerous weapons that can cause death or grievous bodily harm, is as good as a killer himself. And that is why in Nigeria, for example, the offense of stealing is punishable by between 3 to 7 years imprisonment, but the offense of armed robbery is punishable by death. The two offenses are very similar. What makes a difference is the use, the introduction of a firearm. Now, having said that, the blue cloth bandit is considered a very dangerous criminal, allegedly carrying out armed robberies, emphasis on armed, about 70 times within an 11-month space. And that invariably amounts to the fact that every single week within the last 1 year, the blue cloth bandits carried out at least one robbery. Serial is actually the right word to describe him. So one may wonder, why didn't he stop? After almost 70 successful robberies in a country as thorough as the United States, where they have a system that works, what about all the money he made from this illegal source? Why didn't he retire? Was he expecting that this was going to be his long-term career for the rest of his life? Or at what point was he expecting that he was supposed to give it a rest? What was he actually using all this money for? I'll tell you what. For starters, luxury. The blue cloth bandit, only 3 months before he was apprehended, tied the knots with his beau, the beautiful Miss Chinoyelum Stephanie, whom he met in church in 2012 at a confirmation class. They were tied as husband and wife in a lavish, exotic, white and traditional wedding held right there in Los Angeles, and was heavily attended by family, friends, and the Nigerian community there in the USA. Seeing pictures and videos of the wedding completely eradicates the question of where has he been throwing in all this money, the proceeds of his robberies. From the spacious wedding hall to the exquisite decoration, the several luxurious outfits that the bride and groom were adorned in, the food and drinks that were served, every single part of that wedding was dripping with luxury and class. Sadly, a lot of people have taken a swipe and have called out his wife, arguing that there is no chance in the world that she would claim to be unaware of her husband's escapades. They say that if it was a long distance marriage, maybe she was in Nigeria and he was over there in the United States, then that would be excusable. But how is it possible? How can it appeal to a rational mind that you were dating a man, you accepted his proposal and went ahead to marry him, and you didn't know the source of his income, you didn't know the source of his wealth, you didn't know what he does for a living, you didn't ask questions, you didn't probe, you didn't seek to see his colleagues? Where exactly does he tell you he is going to every morning? Thousands of dollars being spent without any visible paycheck in sight? These set of people find it totally impossible to believe that the wife of this bandit was unaware of what her husband did in the last 1 year. They say that it's either she was fully aware or she feigned willful blindness. Do let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Do you think it's possible to be married and living in the same house with a robber without knowing what he actually does? Charles Chukwuma Onwemilie, also known as the Blue Cloth Bandit, has been slammed with a 16-count charge bordering on armed robbery, and there is a huge possibility that so much more charges will be added to this. We can say that this is the end of the road for him, as he wouldn't be getting out in a long time. Do let me know your thoughts, your feelings, and your feedback about this case right in the comment section. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us on today's episode. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. Subscribe to this channel if you're not. There's so much more coming your way. Drop your comments in the comment section and stay glued for our next video. It's me, your girl Barrister Neze, and this is Nezeville. I'll see you guys in my next one. For now, bye.